Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and we are here with Project 2 for Scrappy Tails. This one is going to focus on that Assorted Leaves die set. This is a great die set for your stash. It's got beautiful silhouettes, and it's also got leaves that layer, if you're looking for that look as well. So when it comes to this, I love silhouette dies, or dies that you can turn into silhouettes. Now, I took care of all of my die cutting outside of this video, or else it would have been forever, because I was just having way too much fun. So I am using the Hello die by Birch Press Designs, with the cloud also in the back, because I'm really liking those. I think they could give a better look. I focused on two of the dies on this set. The one that looks like, it reminds me of dandelions, when you make a wish and you blow on it. And then the climbing vine. Alright, so those are the two things that I focused on. I also focused on scraps. I dug into my stash, used up some more papers. I mean, I have all kinds of ink smushed backgrounds. And I get a lot of questions. You know, what do you do with them? What do you do with the extras? Make them your backgrounds. You've created, essentially, your own pattern paper, which is pretty cool. All right? And I love doing that. I think it's awesome. Anyway, you can see I'm putting together my sentiments, and again, this video would have been, I did a lot of layering on this, because these are the type of these images, these silhouettes, where I do like to make them like chipboards. So I will layer 4, 6, sometimes 7 layers of cardstock for these images to make them really thick. And you can see that's what I have right there. Now I've got 3 and 3, so I've got to get that one that's reminding me of a dandelion wish together. So I've cut my hello out 6 times. It's going to be 3 and 3, and then I'm going to make sure that I put that onto the cloud. I have my cardstock cut already as well. Again, silhouettes are so versatile, absolutely and completely versatile. By just changing the color, I chose to go with white for these. You are going to change the effect of these by making, if you use black or a brown, you can reverse it when it comes to a silhouette and use, you know, you'll see when you see these two cards and what I used, but why not use them to die cut off of an alcohol inked background or an inked smush background and let that be the focal point, and then have a black piece of cardstock shadowing it in the background. These are great fillers. These simple images, again, great for building up your stash. These are fillers for other florals that you may have. You know, maybe you've got this floral image, but you don't have enough of the greenery, and it doesn't have the greenery to it. Well, here you go. You can take this and add this. You can take these dies and create your own pattern paper in the background by just die cutting them and placing them on a piece of the cardstock that you have, and there you go. You have your background. So silhouettes a lot of people look at them that they're limiting, that you can't do too much with them, but there is so much that you can do with them, especially when you do all of the layering. So now I've got everything glued. Now each of my images, I've got 6 layers. For my sentiment, it's 3. So you can see that one piece of ink smush, that is from when I do all of my ink smushing and I pick up all of the extra. You know, when I have that extra ink on there, I just use one card. I grab a big piece of 9x12 card, and I just keep picking it up as long as it'll come up. And that's what it came out to, and I love it. And then I have a piece of white, and then 2 more pieces of cardstock. Again, went into my stash and looked at my scraps and said, okay, you know what, I've got to use these up. But by using the white around the solid cardstock, I've created a frame. So you can still see my inked smush background. You can still see that going on back there. All right. But I've created a focal point. And I'm going to use my double-sided foam tape by scrapbook.com to lift that panel up for each of these. I am loving that one with the pink, the red, and it's got all these colors. It turned into mud, because that's like what the mud is when you have all of these colors that are coming together that you're picking up. And it just looks really cool. I really like those colors. Anyway, so you can see that just by putting that, I can still see my pieces back there. And because this one's a little larger, I made that focal point to be a little bit larger as well. So that's going to sit on there. And then this one's just a little bit smaller. And now we're going to play with where this piece is going to sit. You know, do I want it to come from the hello? Do I want it to come from the bottom? You know, these are all things that we're playing around with. Again, always play with the placement of your pieces. You know, do what looks right for your eye. And that is what we will end up with when it comes to that piece. I am using my liquid adhesive. This is a lot of dimension going on here, and I want to make sure that they stick. And then the same thing with the sentiment. I'm just using some dots so that it doesn't squeeze through as much. And then for this one, the same thing. We're just going to use some dots of liquid adhesive. I think I saw a video recently by Jennifer McGuire, and I think she used this die because I think she put pearls in the center of each of these. So I thought that was really cool. You know, and I kind of looked at that and I went, oh yeah, silhouette. I'm like, oh please. I had these videos done a while, but I just ran into a situation on a personal note that I needed to handle and focus in on just for a little bit. So I just kind of went on a little bit of a hiatus. So I do apologize. But I'm glad I can get these out now. Just to show everybody that for Scrappy Tails, these are the products that she has. And this is what I was inspired by. You know, what I love is somebody can look at the same thing and come up with a different idea for every person that sees it. And I think that is amazing. I think that's what makes me smile so much when it comes to this paper crafting world, whether it's card making, scrapbooking, you know, journaling, or anything dealing with paper. It's a wonderful medium. And we have so many options for it that I think it's just absolutely great when it comes to that. So I'm just adding, okay, back to the card. I'm just adding some very small pieces of double-sided foam squares because this hello is going to sit on that one branch, but then it's going to trail off of it. So I just want to make sure that it stays even. And I did double up those double-sided foam squares because, again, this is 6 layers of 110-pound weight cardstock. So it's really, that's why you could really see the shadows when it comes to that piece. But I think the simplicity of a silhouette die is absolutely beautiful. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. Again, sometimes we don't need all of the bells and the whistles. sometimes we can just look at the simplicity of the paper and look at how that goes together when it comes to that. Now, again, having all of these layers on these cards, you know, it's a lot that's going on there, especially the one on the top. But boy, does it feel solid. It's not going anywhere. The card bases that these will sit on, because the ink smush backgrounds were cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I always use 9 out of 10 a standard A2 size card base if I'm not using a slimline card, and that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And these both are top folding cards. So I do hope that you enjoyed this. See how this die set got me inspired to make what we have here. As always, links down below, as I've been saying, so please, I encourage you to go check out her shop. See what she does have to offer. See the beautiful cards that she has there as well. Any questions? Make sure you leave those down below. I know she's going to be keeping an eye on the comments as well. I've asked her to do that by all means, because sometimes I can't get to them as quickly as others. So I know she will be around. If you have any questions, either her or I will get back to you. Smile, laugh, and enjoy your day. Remember, 2021, it's the year of the creative. So let's always be creative. Take care, everyone. Till next time.